Get this Facebook going. Okay. We are live with the Put a Stamp on It podcast. Catching us on YouTube right now. Let me see if I can see my partner's face here.
There it is.
There he is. Man, today's going to be a great episode for everybody who's going to be signing on Facebook, on Instagram, and watching us live on YouTube. We're going to have the video uploaded for you as well. No, I haven't traded in my partner, Jose, for a new host, but we definitely have a guest in the building today. I have Coach Anthony in the building of TYTAN Academy.
That's right.
So, man, all week we've kind of been, actually even before that, man, one thing me and Jose would always talk about is I wanted to have guests on here that were making an impact, somebody that's local. And I think just in general conversations as we ran into people, I always have an interest in asking individuals kind of what they're into, what kind of brings them to that type of business that they're at, and then always kind of like what the story was.
Yeah.
So for some of our guests out there, if you're not familiar with TYTAN Academy, just kind of give you some highlights. TYTAN Academy is a total youth training and nutrition. Basically, it's a program coaching, correct?
Yes.
And it's going to be for our youth. This is owner-operator, Mr. Anthony Ruiz. Call him Coach Anthony.
Coach Anthony, that's it.
Mindset, fitness, development, and character for children. And he's going to get into, man, pretty much how it all started, the story, some of the things that, man, when we were just talking about it, what got me excited just in hearing you, how you're giving back to the youth and why you decided to actually work with the youth versus working with adults.
Right.
So kind of some of the highlights that we went over. In 1996, you started to work with the youth, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I got started early.
Got you. And he's 36. We're all 36 young. Just remember that, okay? Baby faces right here. Don't let the beards fool you. 2000, competitive coaching.
Yes.
We'll get into that. In 2002, you started getting into the youth development.
Yeah,
correct?
Program development and for youth specifically. Yeah.
Okay, got you. Certifications are youth empowerment and was it youth resilience?
Yeah, Resilient Child Summit.
Got you. Okay. Father of two. So, he knows what it's like to have two children as well. Not only just that, put everything on his back, come from a regular work background to transitioning into the entrepreneurship and then just getting involved, being able to give back to as well. Yeah. So again, man, I'm very pleased to have you here as well. I know my partner, Jose, who right now is celebrating 19 years of marriage to his beautiful wife. Congratulations, man. That's a big thing, especially it's tough, especially today.
Yeah.
I got one. I got one L here. I think we're in the same boat. But no, man, that's big ups to you, man. I gave him a shout out. So where he should kind of go with her from his text messages, man, he's having a great time out there and I'm just pumped up that he's having a good time. They're having a great time together. Wish you guys many more years and blessings, man, that you guys just keep going and keep doing your guys' thing. You guys have a beautiful family. So, man, let's just get into it.
Let's do it.
All right. Coach, talk to me, man. So let me kind of just give a little backstory. So I think we ran into each other last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So last year, bumped into him. He came into the office. He was talking to our broker and kind of just getting into what was the reason you were there?
He's actually one of my clients. I coach his son.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah.
So Tony Ayon, our my broker, he coaches one of his sons. He was in the office and I kind of just took it like, hey, the smile just got me. He had just this confidence when he walked in, and I was like, man, let me holler at him, see what's going on. And he started telling me about how he's working with the youth, and I was really taken back by that, and that you're giving back to that portion of our community. So if that kind of just, I think we created like a friendship from there. We got into a little networking group, which really didn't go too far, but we all stood connected. I think we're all kind of in the same boat. I just wanted to give back as well. So kind of with that being said, man, just kind of give me just, like, who are you, kind of where you come from, born, raised, give me the beginning.
You got it. So born and raised Bakersfield.
Okay.
Then in my early 20s, moved to LA and kind of sought out my 20s in adventure and life lessons, and then came back and started my family. Okay.
So you were born Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Where did you go to high school?
South High. Graduated right before you.
I had to throw that out there. South High. Go Rebels. I don't even know if we're called the Rebels anymore.
They might not be.
No, I just think they're just South High now. They took that thing off the side. So, shout out to everybody who's still a Rebel. Now, you graduated in 2002.
2000.
I graduated in 2001.
Yeah, I was right before you.
Oh, man, I thought I was older than you.
No.
Okay, fair enough. So, during high school, you played sports?
Yep.
Okay, what'd you play?
Baseball, football.
Okay. Very competitive?
Very competitive. So I started playing baseball when I was like 6.
Okay.
And then played through high school, 3 years varsity.
Okay.
And then I didn't play football, played flag football, then got into high school and I ran into a fence.
Like an actual fence or a fence of life?
No. PE was playing sophomore year.
Okay.
And they had a soccer goal turned upside down. And it was one of our janky chain link fences that they turned into a goal.
Right.
And they left it in the middle of the field and I didn't see it. And I was running full go for a pass. And I smashed into it with my face. And I punched my teeth through my lip. And I wore a screw into the knee.
Oh.
And so the screw went in and out of the knee, but I didn't fall down. I hit it. And I just stood there. And the coach saw it. And I walked over. I was washing myself off. He stuck his finger through my lip. And he goes, "Does that hurt?" And I go, "No." Completely in shock. He goes, "Once you're healed up, you're coming out for football." And that was it. After that, I put on the pads and loved it.
What'd you play in high school? What position?
I was a defensive linebacker or like a guard.
Okay. What do you think got you into sports at an early age? Was it like a family member, a parental figure,
My
friends,
dad.
family? Okay.
My dad was a Arvin High 3-star letterman, track, basketball, baseball.
Yeah.
You know, he was an athlete.
Okay. Now, since dad was an athlete, did you, as growing up, and this is coming from, I have a son, and I mean, I wasn't an athlete, but by far means, but they look up to you.
Yeah.
And did you looked up to your father as far as all that goes and everything as far as sports go?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he ever press upon you to get involved in sports, or you just kind of gradually went towards it?
No, he introduced me to it, and then it was more of a we're gonna practice this, and it might not be for you, it might be for you, but we're gonna try. And then we kind of bounced around from different sports, and baseball was the one that I fell in love with, and then I just ended up falling into football, which I ended up loving.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So then go through high school, you're into sports, you're competitive. At any time, did you ever kind of think that, in the near future, well, actually, as you got older, that you were going to be doing some form of coaching?
I did.
Okay.
Absolutely. I did. My high school was set up to where I was going to graduate as a sophomore in college.
Okay.
So I did all my classes. I went into Cal State right after high school.
Okay.
And being that we're the same age, but I got set up, my birthday's in November. So 21. I got set up a year early.
Okay.
So I was always the youngest, but when I graduated high school, I was already going to be a sophomore in college. That means I was going to graduate college at 20. And I wanted to be a teacher. I was like, I'm going to be an English teacher and I'm going to coach baseball and football. And I'm never leaving high school.
So being that, and this goes from having conversations with my 10-year-old, and my 14-year-old, I try to always recall back when I was younger, right. What made you just have that I know what I want to do? It's some form of educating going forward for others. Was there an event that came up? Did it come out of sporting? Was there a certain coach that just stood out? When did this just come up that you were just this is where I want to be?
It was the teamwork, the team, the watching teammates and other people grow. It's what lights me up. Okay. So even if I was better in baseball than say 4 or 5 of the guys, I always enjoyed practicing with those guys and bringing them up. Okay. And then I always enjoyed practicing with the guys better than me and challenging myself to try to be better. Okay. So it's that stage of improvement that I really like to thrive. That's where I enjoy. Okay. So I knew I was you know what? I know what it's like to challenge myself. I know what it's like to make a difference. And that's what I want to spend the rest of my life doing. Okay. So you get out of high school. You went to Cal State? Yeah, I went to Cal State. Okay. How was Cal State? Cal State was great, but all my friends that I was with, none of them really went to school. Okay. So they were getting jobs and they were making money. Yeah. They were moving out. They were enjoying their early 20s. And then I did the same. So I was working, going to school, and we were living that early 20s life and just partying and having a good time. No responsibilities, no worries. Yeah. And I realized that I'm within a year of graduating college. Okay. And I'm about to go and teach kids that are 17 and 18 years old, and I'm only 20. I can't do that because I don't know any more than they do. I was I've got no life experience. I've got nothing to share with them. Yeah. And so it's time for me to branch out and actually learn something so that I can find that next generation, and teach them something.
So you literally in your early 20s had this thought that how can I give back to the people that I'm teaching if I'm acting like a kid still myself?
Still a kid. Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Yeah. That's really, I feel like that's a different setup for people because you just had that, you know what I mean? That self-awareness, do you feel you're comfortable in knowing who you are currently at that moment, at that time, or has that always been something you've been self-improving on?
It's always self-improvement.
Okay.
It's always kind of like, okay, where am I at now? Where do I want to be? And then if I'm being 100% honest, it was the girls. It was a moment where I was like 19, 20.
Right.
And I'm in college. And then we made it a point to really try not to party with high school kids.
Okay.
But if we're having a house party,
they're coming.
Right. And so there were some girls at the party and we were like, hey, where'd you graduate? Where'd you go to school? And they're like, no, we're still seniors. And I was like, well, first of all, you got to go. And two, it was this like, I'm going to get myself in trouble.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a differentiation between me and them yet. Okay. We were the same generation.
Yeah.
I was like, they like the same stuff we do. They talk like we do. We're the same. And I know from the idea of being a mentor is you need to have somewhat walked the path to teach the path.
Okay.
And I wasn't there yet. So I was like, this isn't going to work for me. This is the wrong thing. I can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you come from a big family, small family?
2 brothers.
Older?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest?
I'm the oldest, yeah.
How young are your brothers?
They go 2 years each. So it's like 34 and 32.
Okay. Have they always looked up to you as kind of the example setter?
They're still afraid of me, yeah.
Still afraid of you?
Hey, knock it off. They'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. No sisters, right?
No, I've got 2 sisters from that I didn't grow up with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I keep in touch with them now, but they live up north.
Okay.
So I don't get to see them as much as I'd like.
Yeah.
But no, they're very much my sisters.
Got you. Okay. So Cal State kind of had that epiphany where, now it's time if I'm going to be giving back to the community, I got to definitely set that example and then just start making some lifestyle changes. And, a lot of times, there's a lot of us that, I didn't figure that out till I think I was, how old am I? 36? So like 36 maybe? No, I probably didn't get my shit together until I was like maybe 30. So, it took me some time to really say, okay. And even at that time when I had children, that's kind of where I was at. So that's I can see that calmness and to moving towards you needed to go. So now, did you have an idea of, did you want to teach a certain grade? Did you want it, or was it just?
I was looking at high school.
Okay. So, and why specifically high school?
It was that point where I wanted to be able to help get kids from where they are to where where their dreams are. It's like you have no responsibility right now. Mm-hmm. If you're going to go for it, you got a good shot right now. Okay. You got to start early.
Okay.
And not to be distracted or persuaded. It's really try to reflect on who you are and pursue that.
Okay. So I kind of want to get into that now. It's not so good go through it, but let me go to get you going to LA. So what took you to LA?
Design school. I said, okay, if I'm going to take my own advice, what is my dream? What do I want to do?
Gotcha.
And I wanted to be an animator. I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to design. I was like, I'm going to be a Disney animator, and I'm going to make the next Aladdin and the genie, and then just go nuts.
Okay.
So I went. I got accepted to an art school. Down in Santa Monica, the Art Institute.
Oh, nice.
Down in Santa Monica. The job I was at, I was actually working with kids for a local gymnastics family fitness center.
Okay.
Here in town. And then there was one in Beverly Hills. Uh-huh. So I transferred.
Okay.
I called the owner and I was like, hey, because it's a franchise.
Okay.
So I called the owner and I was like, hey, I want to come down and see what you can do.
So what age were you at this time?
I was like 23.
Okay, so 23. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you shot out down south. Down south.
Yeah, went down south. I was lucky because my cousin had a guest house.
Okay.
And her and her husband let me come and live in their guest house.
Okay.
And so it worked out really well. They were in Sherman Oaks. And I kind of just spent the next 2 or 3 years going to school and working and doing. That was a whole adventure in itself.
Yeah, how was that experience being out there? It's a faster lifestyle. You're living out there. Now you said you were in Beverly Hills?
Yeah, I was working out in Beverly Hills.
Now, at that time when you're in Beverly Hills, you're obviously seeing a different type of child coming from where we come from. You know, and I think a lot of times, and you know, we don't really talk about the youth, I don't think, too much in general here. I think we kind of talk in the future with what we're dealing with his goddess here. But, you know, in coming from, you know, a family that's lower income, and kind of seeing what others work with as well, kind of where we're left short, where, you know, that, how does that translate to people that are like in the Beverly Hills? What did you see some of the lack of in the children?
Well, I was fairly lucky because we'll rewind just a little bit.
Okay.
Growing up, I went to a private school.
Okay.
I went to St. Francis.
Got you.
For 9 years.
Yeah.
And it was, again, I mean, I went to South High.
Right.
So that was my neighborhood. Mm. So we went from the poorest kids in like one of the richest schools to now one of the richest kids in the poorest schools. And we were just, you know, average, just above that middle class line.
Yeah.
So our parents sacrificed what they had to do to send us to a private school. But then in high school, it was like, now it's the real world, go deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, so when I went to the Beverly Hills, I got to see more of that, like kids who would spend their summers in other countries. You know, so these kids have this huge perspective. And what I noticed is they were getting places as they were getting older that their character really couldn't keep them.
What do you mean?
So it's kind of like if you make an achievement, you can go so far based on like who you know or what you've been given.
Okay.
But if you don't have like the character, the dedication to the craft, or if you don't have really the drive to do it, or even just the character to kind of stay away from bad habits,
okay,
you lose what has been given to you.
Got you.
Because you haven't really earned it.
Got you.
So as opposed to the kids who had to work to get there, they've developed that character over time.
Got you.
You know, they've failed. They've learned that, oh, well, you know what? If that doesn't work, I'm going to try this.
Okay.
If that doesn't work, I'm going to try this.
Okay.
Whereas opposed to someone's like just picks up the kid and sets them on, you know, level 10. If you play like a video game,
right?
You know, a kid who's got to start at 0 and work their way up. By the time they get to level 10, they're extremely proficient in navigating life.
Right.
Whereas a kid, you just pluck them in and put them on 10. They're like, here you go. They don't have the skill set necessarily. Some of them do.
Right.
But they don't necessarily have the character development to keep them progressing.
Now, did you see some parents that were making the sacrifices like your parents to get their children into that? Yeah. Okay. And then
absolutely.
That child that's getting dropped off on level 10, that child that worked their way up. I mean, is that where you kind of got that?
Yeah, that's where you would see that kid who had to really grind through it start to kind of excel.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. And I think you had brought something up one time when we were talking, when we first met, and you said a lot of times when they were getting knocked down, they didn't know how to deal with it. Some of them, right? And
that's
how would they come back from it? And now, do you feel like with seeing that, being at that, it was a gymnastics school, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you feel that kind of started developing where you want it to go pre-Titan, like kind of where you're headed? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
So when I was with, it was My Gym Children's Fitness Center, and it was a non-competitive gymnastics and sports, like development for kids 3 to say 12 and 13.
Okay.
Well, when I was with them, I started a program called the Cardio Kids, which was similar to Titan. And I kind of helped develop the program with some of the other coaches.
Yeah.
And we basically set it up to where it was going to be more of a competitive sports-based class. And the classes were geared more around pushing that kid to failure. So we wanted to make them get to a point where they failed.
How do you push a child to failure, or how does that work? Like, give me an idea.
Okay, so it's like if a kid can do push-ups, then we try to get them to do a push-up on one leg. Okay. And if they can do that, then we try to get them to do a plank where they go and extend one hand and another foot. And we want to find what a physical achievement that they can't do yet.
Okay.
And get them to where they can't do it. And then they fail, and then we practice. And then we work. And then 2 weeks later, we have them try to do the same thing that they failed at. And then they got it.
Got you.
So then they that light bulb goes off. And it's like, that's what achievement is. It's like, wow, I couldn't do that before. And I can do it now. Well, what else can I do now that with some effort and hard work and some focus, I can do later?
So how did that I would have to assume that probably built a lot of children's confidence in like watching them go through that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that must have been pretty great.
Yeah. And that's where, for me, that's where the payoff is.
Okay.
Is when I see a kid who comes in and they're so frustrated and they're talking, they speak so poorly to themselves. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, I suck. I'm never going to get this. Yeah. I'm terrible. And I ask them, well, how much have you practiced? Well, I haven't. I'm like, okay, well, you can't do it. You're right. You kind of do suck right now.
Yeah.
I go, but that's part of it.
Yeah.
I go, anything that we're doing that we want to do, mm-hmm. it's worth doing shitty. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't say that to them, but it's worth doing bad. Okay. Until you can make it good. Right. So it's too often that kids now try to avoid making mistakes. Okay. They're like, no, I don't want to, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to mess up. Yeah. And it's like, no, dude, mess up. Yeah. Mess up 100 times. Go ahead. Because you know what's going to happen 101. You're not going to mess it up. Right. And it's sad that they understand that in that term. I always bring it back to video games. Yeah. Because they understand that. Okay. They know that when they pick up a game, it starts at level 1. Right. And it starts with an intro. And they sit there and they figure it out. And it takes them a little time and they pick it up. And before you know it, they're extremely proficient at it. Yeah. But they've put in the hours. They've put in the time.
So, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I'll tell them that too. I coach baseball and softball. Like, hey, how many hours have you spent throwing a ball? I don't know. Yeah. 6. Like, okay. Well, we'll see where we're at after 60. How many hours have you played Fortnite? Oh man, I've played 3,700 hours in the last 3
years. They got that down for sure.
Yeah, they know. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, how good are you at Fortnite? Oh, I'm the best and blah, blah, blah. And I've got so many kids. Yes. Yeah. You are. You know that. Yeah. Because you put in the time. Yeah. So when I bring it back to them to talk to them about it in baseball or whatever kind of achievement they're trying to make physically, what do you do?
So you guys were going through this whole program when you guys were there. Yeah. And you were out there, you said, for 3 years.
3-4 years.
So I remember in talking to you before, you had said there was a point where I believe the program kind of none of the I want to say that maybe the credit wasn't due that you were supposed to receive from it, and then that kind of propelled you into a different direction.
Into my own. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So I had met with the owner, and he was a good friend, mm-hmm. and he wanted to develop at the same time we kind of were collaborating a mobile program. Okay. Where it's like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to go out into the community and we're going to branch out to what we do in the gym, and we're going to do it at schools.
How long were you guys doing the program in the gym before you guys wanted to go mobile?
Well, I'd been with the company for probably 6 years.
So you guys had already been at it for well over 3-4 years?
Yeah, together. Yeah.
How was the success? I mean, how do you guys kind of rank that success during that program before you? Because I mean, to go mobile is now mobile. Now you're taking it out of the actual home base of where you're at. What kind of made you guys feel that you guys should have went mobile, and then kind of what was the success while you guys were in it for that time doing it?
It's just a matter of kind of expanding and evolving. Okay.
Were you guys getting pretty busy?
Yeah, the gym was busy. He had a dance and a karate studio at the same time, and he had done some mobile karate classes. Okay. And the karate classes are a little bit easier because you just need a person in the space. Okay. Well, when you're dealing with gymnastics and things, you need to be able to take gym equipment, and there's certain kind of programming. You need a certain amount of space. Right.
What was some of the feedback the kids were giving you guys? Because I mean, obviously the adults are going to see it for the most part, but when you guys were getting feedback as far as the children's progression, what was some of the feedback that you would get from the kids?
Well, it was the kids are always the easier ones. Okay. Actually, because the kids love it. I mean, they know what day you're coming. They know when they're going to see you. The teachers will use it as almost like if we're not listening today, Coach Anthony or whoever's coming, they're not coming today. Mm-hmm. You got to be good. So, and then they would focus.
And you would see a progression growth with the kids too, as well, from coming from maybe not being so confident to getting to here.
Yes. Yeah. It's the kid who doesn't really want to give a high five or doesn't really say their name loud, and they really kind of keep it low to when you come in and you're like, hey, what's up, Bryce? And he's like, hi, coach. And he gives you a big high five. And then when in like with Titan, we sign in, we don't sign our names. I have a big whiteboard and it says I am on it. And when they come in, they sign in with a positive affirmation.
Okay. I'm so excited to get to Titan, man. Okay. So, you guys won't jump all over that. That's your program. That's it. Yeah. So you're getting good feedback. You guys are going to go mobile.
Yes.
And then what happens?
And then I spend a year grinding it out. Okay. Developed maybe 12 solid schools. Had the programming, had it in a book. I was like, okay, we're ready to take the next step. Okay. And at that time, I thought that it was going to be more of a partnership.
Okay.
Where I was like, okay, I'm going to put my name on it.
Yeah.
You know, I put a lot of my time into it.
Yeah.
And he was like, nope, it's, you know, it's my company, my business, this is my name on it.
You're basically just my employee.
Yeah. He goes, I'll give you so many schools and we'll pay you and we'll negotiate this.
Wow.
And I got really burnt.
Yeah. Looking back at that, do you feel, if you could go back, and I'm not saying to change it, you know, obviously you are where you are now and you're doing your business, but did that help you learn going forward on maybe how you should have a conversation if you're going to get into the business with somebody else, or things to look out for? Because I mean, a lot of times it's just almost like getting in a relationship. You don't see the red flags and you just get involved, and I'm 3 years in, you're like, okay, this shit's not what I thought it was. That's
exactly. And you know, there was a really big family dynamic with that company where the owner was very like, we're family. We're going to make this is our family. He was always, you know, taking us out to, you know, for dinner and, I'm going to treat you guys for lunch. And then, but when it came down to it, we were his employees.
Got you.
However, though, as I've gotten older, I definitely have realized that where I was at that point, I probably wasn't ready for the full responsibility of being a partner.
So how does Coach Anthony how'd you deal with that letdown? I mean, now you're giving advice to the children at that time about dealing with what they're going through, getting better. Like, I mean, because obviously I know I've been through situations where I feel like a punch in your stomach. You know what I mean? Like, how'd you get through that?
Right. And it took a while. Okay. I mean, there was a solid, you know, year and a half where I was extremely resentful.
Yeah.
I kind of branched out on my own, and I did a few summer camps, and I ended up being a manny. I was a stay-at-home manny.
Oh yeah.
My family hired me, and they were like, "Hey, come and live with us, and you can take care of our kids and feed the dogs." And so I was like, "All right."
And you were still out in LA doing this? Okay.
Yeah. So I was there.
Hadn't thought about coming back to Bakersfield yet. You were like, "I'm gonna tough it out here."
Yeah. And then I ended up getting a job with my degree with graphic design, where I was designing commercial sets. Okay. So like for TV spots and for commercial studios. So we'd, you know, travel all over the place and build commercials and props and sets. And
how was that?
That was a lot of fun.
Really?
That was probably the second most fun job I've ever had, next to Titan.
Nice.
But it's not set up so much for a family life.
Yeah.
Because they'll call you on Thursday at 11 o'clock and be like, "Hey, we just got approval. We need you at 6 o'clock in the morning out in the desert. You need to get on the road now." Wow. And it's like, all right, I'm going. Yeah. Because it paid really well.
Yeah. That was compensation.
I mean, it was $300 to $600 a day.
Wow.
And you might work 4 hours. You might work 24 hours.
Yeah.
It was completely freelance.
Did you ever look at a lot of the people that were a little maybe older than you, or that had been around in that, and kind of what was the vibe you got from that? Like, did you see a lot of
Yeah, it was they all enjoyed it, but they either talked about how many times they missed their kids' games or birthdays, or they weren't around for certain holidays. And you know what? Most of them, honestly, the 3/4 of them were divorced, and it was all because it's the job and the money and the passion, and that wasn't for me. I was like, you know, it's when I found out I was going to be a dad, I was like, okay.
So you were still in LA when you found out you were going to be a father.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we moved back to Bakersfield a month before he was born.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then you came back and you said you got a job with what your degree was for the art out there. And then when you came back to Bakersfield, what were you doing?
Concrete.
So you had no job when you came back to Bakersfield.
No.
So you literally went from doing that, working with children, now hitting the concrete.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, because now you got to provide.
Right. Yep.
All that shit goes out the window when it's game. When it's game time now. It's like, okay, now I got to put some food on the table. You know, I think as men, I think again, when we're younger, the old school mentality is ingrained to us. Like, we have to take care of our family no matter what. You know, we would love for the support from the other spouse, but if they can't, this is what we do.
Right.
So then you're doing the concrete. And at this time, were you still working on towards your Titan? I mean, when did that come back into play?
I gave it all up. Damn. I said, no more. You know what? I'm going to be a dad. I'm going to be a dad full time. I gave up the art.
Yeah.
Gave up the writing. Gave up the kids. I was like, I've got my own kid now to raise.
How you see? And this is going to come from. I mean, this is kind of coming from me, but like, I've never had an idea of like that creative aspect of what I wanted to get into. So I could never say, well, I worked at this one job and dang, it was like, that was it. Like, I really felt the creative side of it, all that kind of stuff. I kind of got into sales quick, and it was money, and this kind of same situation, got kids and all that. So I never kind of knew what to compare it to. how does that play for you, man? I mean, when you're going through like, shit, I was doing this, I was doing that, but now I'm doing this. Like, was that something that kept you up at night? And like, when did that drive start coming back?
It was a complete soul crushing, like, I mean, the first year or two, wasn't so bad. Yeah. Because it was, I was up late at night and tired and getting to see that baby and like, oh man, this is it. This is my dream, being a dad. I love it. And then, within 2 years we had my daughter. And then by that point I had moved 2 or 3 jobs because I spent a year in concrete. Okay. And that's all my body could take. I was like, my knees, my hands, my elbows. These guys have been doing this for 5, 10, 15 years.
Dude, shout out to anybody that works outside doing concrete or any type of work. I mean, even my dad, man, still grinding it out, doing the type of construction he does, man. Like, I'll never take that away from anybody. I mean, that's true, honest work. Yeah, no, for real. That's why I have to sell houses, because I just can't do it. I'm hurt.
And I did. I was like, no, that's it. So I ended up moving a few jobs and then landed at a hydraulic company doing sales and repair. Okay. And I was there for a few years. Okay. And that was a family. That was fun.
So 23, you're in LA, going through that. When do you have your first child? How old were you?
I was 28.
28. So you're out there at that time, and then you head back to Bakersfield. Yeah. You're 36 now. So then when did you kind of start coming back into your 2 kids in? When are you like, man, I need to make this happen?
Yeah. Well, we started, it all kind of sparked back when the kids started playing sports at like 4 or 5. Okay. It was time for them to start playing t-ball. Yeah. And I was like, I got to coach. Yeah. I'm going to coach. That's what I used to do. Yeah. I love the kids. I'm going to coach again. Uh-huh. And that's as soon as I got on the field and I saw the kids and the high fives, it was just this boom. It was like, oh man.
Yeah. The wind came back.
Yeah. I was like, this is what I've been missing. This is who I am. Yeah. This is what I do. And yeah, so it was a slow process from there. It took 2 or 3 years for my wife was finishing Cal State. So she got through with her degree. Yeah. And as soon as she got done with her degree, she was like, okay, we graduated. And then I was like, I quit. That's it. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going back into coaching. I'd spent about a year and a half preparing.
Okay. So I'm going to say right now, like, let's go ahead and stop right there, because that's a big thing that you're overlooking right now. Like, there's a lot of people that I have a passion or a drive or something that they want to, and I mean, I'm talking to anybody who's just watching, like there's something that's inside you that that, man, I really want to go and I really want to get it. And you hear so often, it's, I have kids, I have these responsibilities, I just can't do it, and I think a lot of times, when you hear things on like Instagram or Facebook or people are, it's like, they're kind of giving you that almost in a sense, like the movie trailer. Of all the highlights of how quick it is to just do it and drop it all. Now you said it took almost a year or so just in preparing to get to there. I mean, not to mention probably how many nights of sleep you were just losing over, like, okay, can I do it? Should I do it? Yeah. Can I get there? And that's a very big thing to do. Yeah. And especially because I know what I went through and quit and got into it, but I mean, I'm going from that to straight sales. You're going into coaching, and that's an even longer. I can get a quicker turnaround with selling a house and the progression of coaching. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, because now this is straight passion driven. Yeah. So you throw the towel in. So I want to, like I said, man, when you told me that before, you kind of really didn't get too far into it. I think we talked about it, but anybody that can throw all that caution to the wind and just say, you know what, I'm going for what I want to go for, man. That's somebody that I want to be around. That's someone that I want to share their story with. And that's somebody I want to give back to the community, because I think every time, even though we share our story, someone may not say to us, but you might, 2, 3, 4 years from now, man, just because that conversation you had with them or they were around a conversation, like you helped me push me over the edge. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you for doing what you're doing and just in that. So now you're going all in now. Do you have the name yet for the company? Obviously, I'm pretty sure you designed the logo too, right? Okay.
Everything, yeah.
So give me this roll up to this great company, this great vision, and everything kind of where you're at right now.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of ways to do it. And it was once I started coaching again, that's when the seed was planted and it starts growing. Okay. And that I started doing a lot more research and into mindset development. And I'm like, well, is there even a program that exists like what I'm trying to do? Mm-hmm. And I couldn't find anything.
And what you were trying to do is
the youth and family fitness.
I had asked you because you had mentioned coaching and like I'm involved in coaching and you know, and all that. You had said something that really resonated with me. You said that you wanted to help the youth versus working with the adults. And why was that?
That has to do with if it's easier to build a strong individual than to fix a broken one.
Okay.
And right now there's so much involved in our culture that really develops adults with a lot of empty spaces and a lot of holes. So the idea is if I can get them young, if I can find them when the mindset is fresh and still pliable, we can instill in them the strength and character so that when they come up to all that bullshit that life is going to throw at them, because it's going to throw it at them. Nobody gets out of it, you know, completely unharmed. So it's like, okay, we're going to take them and we're going to build them up strong. We're going to give them a solid foundation. So whatever that passion is that they have, they're not afraid to realize it. And in turn, that's going to spread, you know, in the future.
So what are some of the things that you see with a lot of the children? Because you work with age groups between what and what?
5 and 18, all the way up.
5 all the way up to 18.
Way up,
Okay. And the younger kids, I mean, we come from now it's, you know, there's a lot of this, you know, single parents, single moms, single dads, divorces, split families, 2 people working. I mean, go on and on about the amount of stress that life just throws at you, like you said. And I think a lot of times, you know, this is just from personal experiences and even talking to other friends and family, you know, a lot of times as an adult, you know, when you have the children, you're just a big kid yourself.
Yeah.
Like I always tell my kids, I'm like, if we can't address what goes on now to help you get better confidence in yourself and work through being aware with yourself, you're going to take those same problems and then stack more crap on top of it with debt and, you know, all these other things. And then those aren't going to go away as you get older. They're just going to increase. And my youngest daughter, she's 14 and she cracks up because we're friends on Instagram and she reads my posts and stuff. And it doesn't, all these funny motivational posts and stuff like that to her, they're funny because they don't really resonate with her yet. Right. And I'm like, when you become an adult, they're going to resonate because at that time, no one really cares to help you anymore unless you pay for help.
Yeah.
And before that, people are more willing to help you as a child. Where do you, with this crazy lifestyle, the way things are now, and they're so fast paced, God, even with the internet, Facebook, Instagram, all these things, likes, and, you know, everybody knows.
Yeah.
What's happening with our children, man? Like how, you know, what are you seeing when you're getting them right there at that point? Like, what are some of the things? What are some of the tips that people can just get right now?
So first, our culture is all about instant gratification.
Okay.
Everything we want it fast, we want it now, we want it easy. And that's just the way that our technology is set up life. And it should be that way. I mean, we should be able to not have to worry about, well, how long is it going to take to get my groceries or something? Or is there going to, you know, the convenience of life is a definite benefit to our technology. However, kids see that and they think that everything is that easy. They can't differentiate from downloading a movie and working on a skill. And the only way to develop skill is through hours and hours of practice. So when they can download a movie or download a song, I mean, when we were growing up, if you didn't make it to Blockbuster on, you know, Tuesday or Wednesday when the movie came out, you might not see it for 2 or 3 weeks. And you know what? That's tough. Yeah. You just have to wait.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know, now
this summer you got to give everybody your phone numbers where you might be.
Yeah. So now everything is, you can access it instantly. Anything you want to order, you can find it.
Yeah.
Even information.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you know what is that movie called? And then just Google, bloop, there's the info.
Yeah.
You know, when we were growing up, you could guess.
Yeah.
And the person who bullshitted the best, that was the right answer.
That's funny you say that. Yeah.
It's like, oh,
he knows it.
Yeah. Who was in that movie with that Ghostbusters? Who were the Ghostbusters? You could be like, oh, it was Chevy Chase. And you're like, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right. So now it's everything is at their fingertips, but the stuff that's important isn't. So when they can only relate to everything being given to them immediately from not just their parents, but culture. And then that's the other thing too, it's oh, mommy, daddy, I want this, or can I have that? Or they're, you know, we're trying to work on something for us or for the family. Yeah. And the kid comes up and is like, hey, can I do this? And it's real easy to just give them a phone and be like, go play the game.
Yeah.
I'll go watch the TV. I'll go do this. So when it comes to actually understanding, things take time. They don't develop it. There's no practice at that. There's no patience. And really, truly, patience and getting away from distractions. That's the other thing. Everything has a pop-up.
Yeah.
It's distracting. So by teaching them the understanding of that concept, that things take patience.
Okay.
You can't get distracted, and you're going to have failures.
Yeah.
By teaching them that through this physical aspect, they can take that into whatever else they decide to do down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the big one. That's the first one. The next one is more chemical. Now, we talked about, how at like 30, you kind of were like, oh, that's kind of when I matured.
Yeah.
You kind of feel like yourself grow up a little bit. Things change.
Well, I remember I was listening to, was I reading something or was I listening to a podcast? To me, both those things end up being the same thing. But
yeah.
This guy had said, when you're, I think it was like 25 and under, you can still learn. Or you can still grow to change.
Yeah.
After that, you change through something traumatic. You have to change through something traumatic.
Right.
That's going to get you to change. So traumatic would be a spouse leaving me.
Right. Yeah.
Losing all my income. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was like, okay, I gotta get my shit together. Like, like now you are making those different. And a lot of times it's funny because you hear people in their certain times like, oh, I don't go out no more. I don't drink. Or I don't go to the club. I'd rather stay at home. Like you start changing because something traumatic maybe happened that triggered you to change. So that's kind of always stuck with me. So that's kind of why I said, in my 30s, that's kind of probably when I hit that niche.
Yeah.
Where we're going with that.
Well, it was saying it's a chemical.
Yeah.
There's chemically, your brain finally matures at around 25, 26.
Okay. Gotcha.
So all the swings and the hormones and the, testosterone, all that stuff finally balances out.
Yeah.
And you're not getting injected with all kinds of stuff that's going to make you.
All the clouds is part.
Yeah, they do. So at that age, you start to gather that clarity.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, well, I've made some mistakes. I can learn from those mistakes. I can visualize my future. If you can. So chemically speaking, kids now experience way more trauma than we did.
How so?
Just with like the way that the media is. I mean, I know I never watched the news. The news was never in my face as a kid. Now, as soon as they get on the phones or they get there's so much just media that gets injected into them. And then because not just that, but secondhand media negativity. So as parents, we absorb a lot of that negativity, and then our tension goes up. We're discussing things about, these shootings or this, that. They hear all of it.
Yeah. So
they're absorbing that secondhand trauma.
Oh, okay.
And what happens is chemically, anytime we're experiencing any kind of trauma, really, our body starts filling up with adrenaline.
Okay.
Even if it's a little bit. And so we get a little bit of adrenaline in our system. And the problem is if you have adrenaline in your system, you can't have endorphins at the same time. So there's nothing to make you feel good. You're always in this fight or flight kind of scared mentality.
Gotcha.
And so kids now, and that's the other thing with bullying and going to school and all this anxiety. They have this anxiety and then adrenaline fills up in their system. The only way to get rid of the adrenaline is through endorphins. So the endorphins come in and wash out the adrenaline. Well, how do they get that adrenaline? Is through more media. It's through the video games. It's through the gratification of clicking the buttons and getting likes. Oh, I got 1,000 likes today. And that fills them up with happiness. It's that chemical that gets rid of the adrenaline. So then they become addicted to it. And it's essentially the same thing that happens with drugs and alcohol and sex and anything else that makes you feel good. Food, sweets, candy. It's like, oh man, I'm feeling lousy. I'm going to go get a box of Twinkies. And you know what? 3 or 4 in, I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
Because that adrenaline is getting pushed out by the endorphins. So it's really a matter of getting them to a place where through physical achievement, through understanding breathing, understanding their body, understanding that when they go into that state of shock and adrenaline and fear and anxiety, that through breathing, self-awareness, that they can come out of it without anything else.
Wow. So
that I don't need to play that next level on the video game. I don't need to lose myself in social media. I don't need to go try vaping or smoking or drinking, or I don't need to go make out with the dude across the street to make myself feel good, because I can find it inside.
And you feel that in working with the kids now, like, do you see, like you said, they're more trauma than what we had?
Yeah.
Really?
A lot more trauma. Yeah.
Do you feel that some parents tend to bring on more of some trauma too because they don't know how to deal with this?
Yes.
Because I feel like we're the last generation of really knowing what it was like to have no internet.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And then have it, you know, and I can see a disconnect of children. They always say children teaching children, you know, going forward type of concept. Mm-hmm. So that's, I mean, like I said, life hits, you know, how do you not worry, put that on your, the added stress to your children?
The first thing is there's a great book called No Drama Discipline.
No Drama Discipline.
Yeah.
No Drama Discipline.
So if you're a parent, I highly recommend it. No Drama Discipline, or even YouTube, No Drama Discipline.
Take that note.
And just listen to some of there's a few good YouTube videos where the author actually talks about the meaning behind the book.
Okay.
But it has to do, the bottom line with No Drama Discipline is, if you're in a state of anxiety or if you're in a state of anger, you cannot discipline your kid. Because what you're doing is you're reacting and you're not connecting. So we don't discipline our kids to necessarily punish them. Like when my son does something that I think he could improve on, I don't want to hit him. I don't want to send him to his room. I don't want to send him away. I don't want to make him feel like he's not loved, or that's not the goal. I don't think any parent wants to make their kid feel like shit.
Right.
But we do.
Right.
We do, because we're reacting and we're in a state of, you know, anger or anxiety or even trauma from our own day.
Yeah. So
we react to them and they get that lack of connection. So the first step to disciplining is really making a connection. So even if it takes 2 minutes when they do something to stop yourself and be like, okay, well, you take that deep breath and you're like, okay, what is my goal here? Ask yourself, what is my goal to this next step of discipline?
Yeah.
What do I want to achieve from this? Do I want my daughter not to lie to me? Do I want my son not to hit his sister? Do I want, you know, do I want them to be more polite to their mother? Or what do I want?
Yeah.
And then from there, you can open up a dialogue with the kid. And it comes from a place of connection. So you're trying to make a connection with the kid and be like, okay, look, I understand that you're pissed. I understand that you're hurt. I understand that you're tired. But
you're talking to the kid right now.
Yeah, I'm talking to the kid.
Not me right now.
No, you know,
okay,
right now.
I'm double checking. I almost feel like you're talking to me. Like, okay, I mean, I'm a little hurt. I am a little tired. I mean, no, that's me.
Yeah, no, I get that dad voice sometimes. That comes out. I can't hide
all
right. But I understand where you are.
Yeah,
is not where you want to be either. So where do we go from here? And what can we learn from what we just did?
Yeah. Wow.
You know, and then from there, you guys can move forward together and you both feel better about it.
Yeah.
But that is a very hard skill to learn, because I can guarantee our parents didn't do that for us.
Oh, heck no.
You know, I know that's not the way that I grew up, you know, and I came from a relative family of educators, but I, you know, still got spanked, still got, oh, where's the belt?
Yeah.
You know, oh, I'm going to run. You know, that was the way that it used to be done.
Yeah.
And I know that parents still spank. So if, you know, I'm not trying to shun anybody for spanking.
Okay.
You know, but there is a more positive way of disciplining and making connection with your child that you're not going to have to try to fix an angry 13-year-old. You know,
I feel a lot of times, you know, as parents, we only try to fix when there's that problem or that thing arises versus, hey, I'm going, because I can't think like, man, I've ever heard anybody just say, hey, I'm gonna take a class like to become a better parent.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like you always work on it after it's a big issue already.
Right. When it's court ordered.
Now I'm fixing. Now I gotta fix it. The kid's on drugs. I can't find him for a week. Let me try to get my life together and help them get their life together. You know, then you're already combative over the fact that you're mad because you feel like a failure because you let them kind of get to there. And you know, this child development and everything like that. I mean, this is really, it touches, you know, my heart because, you know, I mean, you know, I have 4, you know, my 2 older from the mother, we weren't married. And then I got, you know, two younger, 14, 10. and then soon to be 5 and 3. And those are from my marriage that we just got divorced. And I think in my younger age, in my 20s, I was still young. So you just kind of turn a cheek to kind of them growing up in a sense. Right. And now I'm running into it and they're not, thank God they're great kids, but and we communicate, but now that they're 10 and 14, I can see how that kind of got them to here. And then now I'm looking at the 4 to be 5-year-old, my son, and my 3-year-old. I'm like, okay, I'm now that my chemicals have cleared, I'm like, nah, now I want to be more, I want to be more on this page with them. And thankfully, my ex, she's real all about kind of the same thing you said, when it comes to it's not disciplining, it's we're on the same page, and it's communication and understanding with the child of that, not necessarily they did anything wrong, but this is where we're at. Let's get a result out of it, right. A learning. So that helps out because she's on page with that too as well. But, I want to make sure to cushion, especially going through separations, and then moving and stuff like that, not having a solid foundation, those are things that and again, I put a lot of that on my shoulders because I think to myself, well, I'm letting them down. But then I also look at a lot of people that are in the situations where they are still together. They seem like they have a foundation, and they're just more messed up than certain things. Right. You're like, okay, well, it's kind of hard to win either one of them. You can only do your overall best. So you create TYTAN Academy.
Yes.
Your company, owner, operator, created the logo.
Everything from the ground up. Yeah.
Tell me about this. What do the people need to know about TYTAN Academy? What is the whole, I know we've been talking about a little bit of everything because I get so excited about this stuff.
No, I'm happy to do it.
I appreciate you being here, but just tell me, man, what is TYTAN Academy?
So TYTAN Academy, it's TYTAN, that's Total Youth Training and Nutrition. And it's a character first level-based fitness system. So we do everything in levels, just like a martial arts system.
Okay.
And then from there, as we track their progress, we award them with new achievements.
Okay.
And that kind of gives them that fix, like, oh, right, I got 3 more stars today.
Like a video game.
Yeah, I'm almost about ready to level up.
Okay.
So then that's our youth empowerment program.
Okay.
So we talk a lot about how we speak to ourselves first. So that's what I was talking about, that I am board, their check-in. So every day when they come in.
How many times do they come in that program?
3 times a week.
So 3 times a week. Okay.
Yeah. So it's 3 times a week. Almost every kid comes minimum of 2, 3. So it'll be like 3 days and then 2 days.
Okay.
Because schedules change and things happen. But it's 3 times a week, and they come in, and instead of writing their name on a board, they write a positive affirmation about themselves.
Dude.
And that's hard. Yeah. That's really hard to do, especially for like a 9-year-old. Yeah, I could say name 10 things you don't like about yourself
all day,
and they could write 20.
That's crazy that they can do that.
Name one thing that's good about yourself, and they just sit there and they stare at the board. And I'm like, okay, well, these are some of the words we can use. We can use strong. We can use creative. We can use independent. We can use honest. Yeah. We can use kind. It can be a physical achievement. You can say fast or strong or flexible.
Yeah.
We're going to find something that you feel that you do well.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the best, but it's something you do well or that you find pride in. And then a minute goes by and they'll write, I'm smart or I'm fast. And it's funny because they always write it real small. I got this big whiteboard and they write it tiny. It's small. It's, it's almost like they're writing on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And it's because they're not confident yet in what they're saying. A few weeks later, they write that same word and they'll write it big. Wow. I'm smart.
Yeah.
And they put that on there. And then we start, okay, well, let's find a new word for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you're smart. You know you're smart. We're smart.
Yeah.
Let's find something else.
Yeah.
And then they'll write, I am hardworking. And again, it's real small.
Yeah.
And over time, it develops and it grows. And then one of the best things, and this is exactly why I do this, I was a 4.5, 5-year-old coming to camp, and I did all summer. We had all camp, and he came to about 3 weeks. And he started signing in, and he couldn't really write words well. So I'm helping. He's a kid. He's small. So trying to help him spell things. I am fast. I am kind. And then the last day he was there, he goes, "Hey, coach." And he yells at me and this is a little kid. "Hey, coach, how do you write unstoppable?" And I was like, yeah, because that was a word that I hadn't used for them yet.
Yeah.
And he picked that out and was like, "I'm unstoppable."
That's awesome.
And I'm like, "Yes, sir, you are."
He was 3.5, almost 4?
He's 4.
Dang.
He's 4 going to 5. And he was just like, I'm unstoppable, coach.
Yeah.
And we wrote it. I wrote it there, and he scribbled it out the best he could, and he knew it. You know, he put a stamp on it. Boom.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, he did. He got it. He was ready.
Nice.
And that's exactly seeing his face when he asked me, how do you spell unstoppable? He knew that's what he was.
Yeah.
And so that's where the first thing right out the door is how do we talk to ourselves?
Got you.
You know, because when you say I am, what you say you will become. Yeah. Period. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be any, and that's the other thing is when I work with we're jumping ahead a little bit, but there's the youth empowerment program, which is just for kids. It's a kids only class, 5 to 18. It's level based, and we move up through the ranks there. Then I have a family fitness class. And that one is more of a family boot camp where mom, dad, kids, everybody comes together. Oh, wow. And we all work out at the same time. Kids do the same workouts as the parents do. And they have relays, and they have challenges, and they have it's a whole lot of fun, but they're working, and they all leave sweaty, and they all give each other high fives, and the parents have to sign in too.
Oh, they have to do the same thing.
Same thing. I am.
How's that for adults doing that?
It is
the same way.
Sometimes, yeah. It's almost a breakdown moment when I hand them a pin, and I'm like, you have to say something good about yourself. Yeah. And some of these parents don't have anything good to say about them.
See, I'd imagine that, like, at that point when you're doing it with your children, like, your children, the majority of our children don't know how we kind of are outside the walls, right? They don't see you when you're at work. They don't see you competing against others, or, you know, right? Like, they have this, they can look at us like this big superhero moment, and then you get out there like, I can't give up in front of my kid, or I don't want to look like this in front of my child. Like, I got to stick to the standard I try to hold. Yeah. Do you see that drive with the adults? Kind of like, man, I really don't. Or do you see them sometimes like how does that work? That dynamic? I think that'd be amazing for them all to be together.
Right out of the bat, there is some like, oh well, we're here more for the kids. We're just gonna kind of do it.
You're all, okay.
It's like it's okay. All right, here you go. Sign in. And they're like, you want me to sign in? I'm like, yeah, you got to find something good about yourself. Yeah. And I'm like, and you know what? And I always tell them, it doesn't have to be something you think of right away that you're proud of, but you at least need to write something that you're working on. And the one that I always get is all these parents will put, I am, oh man, I'm forgetting it. I am, when you're on time, I am punctual. Okay. I am punctual because none of them are ever punctual. None of them are on time. They're always running behind. They're always running late. So they always start with, I am punctual because that's what they want to become. Oh, okay. So it's like, all right, you just keep writing that. Keep writing, I am punctual. And then as a family, when they're on their way to the gym, I encourage them to discuss what their I ams are going to be. So it's like, if you can't think of an I am for yourself, ask your sister, ask your mom. Mom, if you can't think of an I am for yourself, ask your kids. And then they start to have this dialogue of what they feel like each other are and what their strengths are. And then when they come in, they just can't. That's the first, they run over, they're fighting. I got a big basket of pins now because 6 pins wasn't enough. So now they write it on, they put, huge things. I am, I'm athletic and I'm, and it's the foundation of it.
Do you have like a diverse group of families that go like that in groups, like a little bit from far left to far right, like just I mean, that's just to have a family participate in that way, like to have the father and the mother, really the father, like I feel like just to step up and say, I'm going to participate like that, and to get a whole group of people together at one time, like that's winning. Like I feel like, dude, that's just like already setting an example of how you guys can work going forward.
And it's amazing because like I have these kids who get super competitive with mom. Like mom's running a relay and kids running right there and they're pushing each other and mom always pulls back a little bit and lets the kid win. Dad don't do that.
You ain't let your kid win.
No. Dad doesn't let kid win, but when kid sees dad participating, he doesn't care if he loses. If mom beats him, sometimes he's like, oh, I'm going to do it again. Yeah. When dad wins, it's this light up. It's like, you know what? I just lost a Superman. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
That's awesome.
And so they do. And there's this love and competition that goes back and forth where you don't get to see, dad comes home from work, mom comes home from work. They're tired. They don't really have time.
Dude, you're literally spending, if they're not doing anything like activities, you're literally spending 4 or 5 hours with your kids before it's time to go to bed.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah. If that. Yeah. And then you got to worry about dinner. You got to worry about, what are the clean clothes tomorrow and do your homework.
And then what are you usually getting them for dinner? You're getting them unhealthy food because it's fast food. It's ready to go.
Yeah. And it's easy. It's processed. Yeah. So Here, there's a whole hour where they get to see mom and dad playing.
Yeah.
You know, they get to see mom and dad pushing themselves. They get to see, you know, for the relays in the games, you know, they get to play.
And you're doing this same thing 3 times a week?
For 3 times. Okay. I'm there Monday through Friday.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you guys do weekends?
Not yet.
Not yet?
But it's just because all the parents right now like Monday through Friday.
Oh, gotcha.
If I had a parent who was like, hey, I can only make it on Saturday, I'll be on Saturday.
Oh, that's when they want to go out of town. They need to rest up, too,
that's
from being
pretty much what it
is.
And you know what? That's a really good thing. I'm glad you brought up being sore, because I'm a dad. I'm not young anymore. I mean, I'm still young, but I'm not in my early 20s.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to work all day, try to raise kids, go to the gym, and then be sore the next day.
Yeah.
So one of my biggest things about it is I want you to feel fatigued. I want you to feel kind of tired, but I don't want you really sore.
Yeah.
You're going to feel it. You're going to be like, I worked that yesterday.
Yeah.
But there's not going to be any of this like, oh, I can't get on the toilet.
Yeah.
You know, my legs, I can't. Yeah. Oh, I can't put on a seatbelt.
Yeah.
None of that.
Dude, I can just thinking about that right now, man. It's amazing because I'm like, you know, okay, so since we moved into this place, like we have a pool, we have a basketball court. I mean, we have the tennis court. And so like my older kids, man, I realized when I ask them, like, you guys want to do something? They're real like, no, we're cool. Like we went to just go play board games the other day with my buddy. And they're like, we're cool. We don't play Monopoly. It takes forever. Granted, they never played Monopoly, right? So we finally played. They're like getting all into it. They're all excited. Then I bought bikes to teach my son how to ride a bike. I'm going to teach him how to ride a bike. Picked it up like that. We got a basketball. But they were like, once I got them out, they were like, okay, let's go. Like, you know, then they were pumped up because I was running with them and stuff like that. So it's like, just to get that hour. And I mean, anybody, if you guys have ever just thought about just setting time, if you're going to the gym now or anything like that, man, pick up maybe that hour just to go, you know, 3 times a week with you, you know, we'll have the links and everything like that to get pricing, his contact information. But just spending that time with your children. I mean, I think that's huge. Just spending that whole day, Saturday and Sunday with them. I mean, it's like a blessing in the sense that the divorce happened, because it was like we've literally tightened up as a unit, like hard, like, you know, we all spend time with each other. I'm so much more aware of like when I come home, phone off, you guys are, this is it, you're my drive, we're here all day, we're doing our thing. And because I felt like I robbed them of that with just the work and everything like that. So I'm man, the fact that you're doing that, that's awesome. So we have the ones for the children, the ones for the parents, and then tell me more about this, man.
Then there's I do some personal training on the side. So like early AM.
For like kids and adults?
No, this is just for adults. This is just for mom. This is just for dad. They want to get in some extra work. And a lot of times it's that, man, I can't even get myself into the gym because I either don't know what to do. I don't like being around all those people. I work out for 2 days and I'm so sore I can't do it. So it's like, all right, well, come to me for, 2 or 3 months, 6 to 8 weeks. And then I'll get you to where you need to be, to where you're confident in yourself and you can go off on your own. So I don't like to do personal training where it's like, we're going to go for a year and I'm going to, and we're going to be fit. We're going to competitions. And no, it's more like, let's get you flexible and moving again.
Gotcha.
Let's get you feeling 3 years younger, 5 years younger, and then you can go and find what you want to do.
So you had mentioned something when we were talking that I thought was cool too, was like the nutrition portion of it.
Yeah.
So you do the nutrition with the families and the kids. I mean, I think you had mentioned that the kids go home and I don't know if you said they write in a journal or you have them journaling or keeping track of their food or something like that. Like
the food is the journaling is for the parents.
Okay.
So the parents, if they're really interested in doing a meal plan, it's like, okay, just keep track of what you guys eat for a few days. And then we'll look at how to modify it, because there's so many diets and so many fads and so many extremes.
Yeah.
And life is hard enough without having an extreme to live by.
Yeah.
And it's one thing if you're an adult or if if it's just you and you only have to worry about you.
Oh, it's tough with you have kids. 4 kids, all 4 of mine like different things. And it's just like, and then I like, I'm trying to do what I have to do and they can't eat half the stuff I eat, sometimes, especially if I'm, working out and I'm just protein, et cetera, stuff like that. How does that, the kids, because how do you combat the nutrition? Because I mean, kids here, we hear diet, we hear nutrition, and to us, we're not necessarily to leave a bad taste in our mouth, but we know that it's going to, I think to us, we think, oh, this is going to take effort because it's going to take longer to prepare.
Right.
Or it's going to be more costly. Child hears nutrition, they just think, broccoli and carrots. I don't want that. And they're so shut off. How do you guys combat that?
We start, I start encouraging colors. Okay. So we break it down to colors. So like what we do in our house, and I encourage all families to do this. It's say if you're going to have tacos, right? You get your tortillas, you get your meat, and then you put in a big like bowl, like 5 or 6 different colors. Okay. So if you got bell peppers, spinach, tomatoes, cilantro, put a spread out of the different toppings that you like. And then the kids have to pick 2. Okay. And they have to be different colors. Gotcha. So the idea is to make your plate as colorful as you can, because the kid's not going to count calories. They're not going to understand really the difference between proteins and carbs and healthy fats, but they do understand colors. So if you look at your plate, I'll ask my son, I'm like, hey, how many colors you got? And he'll look at his plate. And he's like, oh, I only got 1. And it'll be like chicken, mashed potatoes and gravy. It's the same color. It's white, beige, brown. That's all in that same. There's no greens, purples, blues, anything. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, you got to find a color. It's like, okay, well, I'll go get some broccoli. Got you.
So when you take them out of that into that color scale, do you feel that kind of like disconnects them from associating that with being like,
then nutrition or diet.
Now
or
it's
healthy.
kind of like a game. Yeah. Okay. Do they keep track when they come back with you and you guys speak on nutrition? Do you see the kids being a little bit more, not necessarily competitive, but like, oh wait, what did you eat? Okay, what did you eat?
No, absolutely competitive. It'll be like, because I'll do it. I'll do it to him. I'll be like, hey, yo, Jackson, how many colors did you get yesterday? Yeah. And he's like, oh man, I only had 1 color. And then there's Dominic. He's like, I got 3 colors last night. And it becomes this thing where how many colors can you really put on your plate? Yeah. And then shopping for the food isn't so strenuous, because it's like, I don't want to buy that because they're not going to eat it.
Now
and I'm just going to throw it away. So now you just look for colors. So you go to the grocery store, and that's another thing when you take them with you to the store, and it takes a few minutes longer because they're with you. But you incorporate them into the buying process.
Help you pick out.
Yeah. I'll get a bag, and I'm like, go find 3 colors. And they'll go put a pepper and an avocado and a tomato, Wow. And so it's okay. So they're going to pick their colors.
Us as parents, man, what do you think the biggest misconception is? Like, where do you think that we're losing? Not to say necessarily losing out, but like where's the disconnect for a lot of time when we because we want to just go in and get out, and we may not include them in that purchase, or I find out the more I ask them to be included with things, the more excited they are all the time. Yeah. Do you feel it's like our disc is just we're so fast paced because we feel like there's not enough time for anything, that we're just moving through life really quick with them?
I think what our issue is that do you enjoy shopping? Do you enjoy grocery shopping? Do you want to go? Like, is that something you're like, oh, I can't wait to go grocery shopping tomorrow?
I'm 50-50 on it. Yeah. I mean, no, because I end up buying other stuff I shouldn't buy. Right. I'm like, hey, I got that. Well, I can use that. Like, but no, I mean, it's not my most favorite thing to do.
Yeah. It's a chore. And it's something you have to put on a to-do list. You're like, okay, I gotta go today.
So again, we're big kids that dislike doing chores like they do.
Particularly like, well, you know what? Kids want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
And they don't care what it is.
No, they don't.
They just want to be with you. They want to be with their parents. They want to see what you're doing, and they want to be grown-ups.
Yeah.
They want to be big kids. They want responsibility.
Yeah.
So like my kids right now, it's a point, and sometimes I say it and I feel like I'm bragging, but you know what? I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
So it's to the point now where when we go into a store that we're comfortable with, so we shop at Lassen's a lot.
Okay.
And it's a little bit more pricey.
Right.
But you got to budget it, and it's a priority. Yeah. So it's like, okay, we're going to go to Lassen's, and I don't touch the basket anymore. So my 8-year-old and my 6-year-old, they push the basket, they pack I'm like, okay, we're going to get this, this, and this. And then they pay.
Yeah.
They pay at the end. So I give my daughter's like money, and I'll give her my card. She puts in the code. Dude. She sticks it in. They say, thank you. They say bags. Yes, please. And then we're out.
Wow.
And then when it comes time to make dinner.
Yeah.
Okay. What are we going to do today? And then I have my daughter helping chop the food.
Yeah.
And I guarantee if they prepare it, they're going to eat it.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So it's one of those things where do you want to put your value and your time? Because it might take 10 extra minutes to get out of the grocery store. It might take 15 extra minutes to prepare the food. So you're looking at, say, 30 extra minutes out of your day. Well, how valuable now is that 30 minutes?
I mean, it seems like the world, because you're spending that time with your children. It doesn't, to me, I mean, when I've done that with them now more recently, I've tried to get more involved that way with them in the purchases, doing all these kinds of things. time flies, but I'm not watching the clock, but it's the best time I'm having with them.
Yeah. I tell you, let your older of the younger ones pay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Be like, here, and show them.
Use my money though, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm hoping that they got money. I was hoping to work out that way. That's cool, man, for sure.
And just see what happens and with the way they react to the whole entire experience.
I'm gonna do that for sure.
And it's little things like that where it added 30 minutes to your day.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's gonna save so much time down the road trying to break bad habits of not eating nutrition.
Yeah.
Or doctor visits, or just having to pay for it later.
Yeah.
You can cash in now really 30 minutes.
Wow. Yeah. I found out that, just switching into trying to involve them more it's made a better relationship for all of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now because we're all included with trying to do things, like you said, like we're going shopping, going places. Because I was finding myself because I get my kids 1 week, 1 week off, 1 week, 1 week off. And I'm like, man, every time you get them, it's almost like you want to do something exciting because you don't see them for a week that you just want, but then you start finding out like, man, this stuff's expensive, the movies, all this kind of stuff. So then it was like, okay, well, what else can we do? Now it's like, oh, let's do this and let's do this and let's go to the gym with me and let's go do this or let's go run around outside. Like now he has his bike. I'm like, I'm gonna go take him to the trail and be like, hey man, you ride your bike straight and I'll run next to you.
Right.
So it's like now I'm finding out, man. I always tell myself like, what the hell can we do for free? That go sit outside, you know what I mean? Like there's just so much you can do for free that you can share, that you don't have to just consistently entertain. And a lot of times, man, they respect that so much more than anything else. So talk to me real quick about programs. So the first program you guys offer to the kids is
the youth empowerment.
The youth empowerment. Yeah. And it's 3 days a week.
Yep.
Monday through Friday. And then you have different time slots and everything they can pick up.
Yeah, that one right now, because school's going back in, it's either 4 or 5:30.
Okay, got you. Okay. And when I came across you, you were working in the works of getting this building, right?
Yeah.
So you are now actually in a building.
I am now subletting Elite Fitness Center. So
what's the address?
6558 Meany Avenue.
6558 Meany Avenue.
Yep. It's right on the corner next to Gas Wars on Meany and Fruitvale.
Got you.
And it's Elite Fitness. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful facility.
Got you.
So I started and I was subletting from a CrossFit space. Mm. And then we were getting a little too big. The CrossFit was getting too big, and our classes were clashing. Mm. So then I literally walk across the street, and I met Eric, who's the owner over there. Told him what I do, and he was like, "Absolutely, come on in." So, and he has this huge, beautiful building. Mm-hmm. It's empty half the day. Yeah. And that's when I usually run my classes. So we really have almost the whole facility to ourselves.
So we have that program, and then we have the one with the family.
The family fitness, yeah.
Family fitness. Is there another one just outside of just the regular training, but with the kids involved? What else is there? Just those two?
No, just those two. Okay. And then we have all kinds of other stuff. Like Parents Night Out. Drop your kids off. It's the last Friday of every month.
Nice.
So 6 to 10, come drop them off at the gym. We play games. We hang out. We run around.
So now I would say that most people probably right now are like, yeah, but you know what? It's personal training or it's training. And I know it's going to be an arm and a leg. You can only imagine what are the price. And obviously, on your website, you have the pricing and anybody can reach you through Facebook or Instagram if they want to. And they can even see a lot of the videos and stuff that you have online. Yeah. That's where I watch a lot of my content. You respond. We're still kind of millennials, so we still respond fairly fast. Yeah. But I know for my membership, for me and my 2 kids, my younger, I'm probably paying somewhere between like $65, maybe $70 a month for us. Yeah. Where's the scale kind of in general when it comes to, your cheapest, maybe to an elite type of package?
Okay. So the cheapest one usually starts about $65 a month. Okay. And that would be just for like a single kid 3 times a week, all the way through.
Wow. It's just $65 a month. So basically like having an adult membership.
Yeah. Having an adult membership. Then they go up from there, and then it maxes out at $200 a month. Okay. And that would be for like a family because I only charge for 3 kids.
Okay. So if you have a 4th, 5th,
4, 5, 6,
old school.
Really? 200 is the max.
Okay.
So if I do have right now, I've got 2 families in particular that have 5 and 6 kids. Okay. And it's the same.
And that's getting them like the T-shirts, the keeping track of like them leveling up. I know you said like kind of like wearing the belts like for karate.
Yeah, like for karate or martial arts.
You got kind of the move up system and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Awesome. What do you feel when the children and people get involved? Do you see that they stay pretty committed to it? Yeah. For 6 months to a year easily? Is that because they're having such a great time doing it?
Yeah. So far, anybody that's tried it, has stuck around and stayed.
Awesome.
So I do a free week. So it's not just one free class. It's a full free week because I want you to be able to make sure that it's the time and the commitment you can make, because I'm there to make a commitment to them and their family.
Got you.
And I want in return that same commitment, you know, because it's truly life-changing. And if the parents want to work on their children's health and their own, you know, physical development and well-being, then I'm there for them.
And you're saying, and you said 5 to 18, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about like sports? I mean, when they're there, are they able to do anything too? Like what are some of the exercises you guys do and everything like that with the children? So
I have a certificate in speed training. Okay. So for at least once a week, we're working on nothing but speed and speed development.
Holy crap, man. You got my son right there all day.
Yeah.
Speed.
It's all he talks about. Yeah. And it's about just kind of finding the flexibility in the hips and the balance in the feet. And so there's a lot of stretching and then doing drills.
Wow.
You know, and then we play games and we do relays. So there's a huge fun aspect to it. But at the same time too, we do put in work.
Gotcha.
And the kids do leave, you know, tired and sweaty and like, okay. And the one thing I find, especially because I do summer camps.
Yeah.
So a 4-hour summer camp would have a kid not only taking a nap, but in bed like at 8 o'clock.
Oh, like, dude, hey, parents, that's it. Your kid's going to bed early? Oh, that's a wrap. Sign me up right now.
And really they don't really even understand that they're working out. I mean, they know we explain what they're working, why they're working, what they're going to get out of it, and they retain that. And sometimes they'll even ask, well, what is this working?
Yeah.
Because I feel it right here. And so we talk a lot about sensation in the class. It's like what you're working for is your own sensation. When you feel a stretch, when you feel it, that's where you're at. That's where you need to be. Okay. Don't compare yourself over here to Kaylee, who can put her foot behind her head because she's been in gymnastics for 7 years.
Yeah.
You know, I got a boy right now who's 16 in the program, and he was a competitive professional gymnast. And now he's in the program.
Wow.
So it's like everything from, you know, the 5-year-old who might have too much bread pudding, you know, for dessert, who needs to, you know, just to work, to a competitive level athlete. There is something for them.
Okay.
You know,
got something for everybody.
Yeah.
And for the kids that may be, you know, shyer, you know, when it comes to kind of getting involved in that, I mean, you guys are hands-on with getting them kind of out of their shell and getting them into there. And a lot of it, you said, starts with that self-awareness of them being confident in themselves. That's amazing.
So the shy kid, the overweight kid, the kid that's bullied, the kid with ADD, ADHD, even, you know, different spectrums of autism.
Yeah.
I have a big background in special needs. I used to work with the regional center here in town. So I have a lot of understanding of nutrition and physical development for special needs kids.
Yeah.
From all of that up to the mid-level athlete who just wants to get a little better.
Yeah. Through
to where, you know what, I want to get a football scholarship.
Yeah.
You know, how do I get there?
Wow.
So we're going to make it happen.
And how many, so just overall, like how many people do you have working with you right now?
Right now, it's just me.
Just you?
Just me. There's a few other trainers in the gym.
Got you.
That kind of, but as far as my company and TYTAN goes, you're getting just me.
Okay. TYTAN's been in business how many years?
We just finished our first year.
Your first year. Yeah. Now that's actually as TYTAN, and prior to that, you've been doing the training since up to then. Okay.
Yeah. So the competitive coaching started back in 2002.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So where do you know, because I mean, we're coming up on an hour and 20 minutes. So kind of overall, man, I appreciate you sharing your story, man. 100%. I mean, I've been smiles the whole time, and if you can get me to shut up and not talk so much, but shit, like you're doing good. Where do you see TYTAN? I mean, what's the vision for your company, man? That, I mean, you can see yourself, you know, let me hear, you know, 5 years from, actually, no, let's go 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and then 10 years from now. What do you want? How do you want to see this vision?
So this year we're looking at, I would like to actually hire a few people.
Okay.
And then it takes a little while to train them.
Gotcha.
Because it's not just a week long, we're going to watch videos and now you're off. It's truly understanding the connection that you need to make with these families and these kids to make a difference. So it's finding a support staff that will come on and help me with the vision. Then from there, it'll be another location. Gotcha. So it'll be where I'm at now, plus my own TYTAN building.
Okay.
From there, it'll be hopefully one closer to the east side and one closer to the south.
Gotcha.
So because I do definitely want to get into more of the areas where we're dealing with that single family or single parent household, maybe mom or dad's completely out of the picture, lower income, less opportunity, I would definitely like to get involved more in that. And then from there, I'd like to franchise it.
Nice.
So it's going to be one of those, like, by the time in the next 5 to 10 years, I want to coach coaches on how to work with kids. Yeah. And then only speak really to groups of people about how can you make a difference in not only your lives and your circle's life, but for the generations down the road.
Got you.
Yeah. So ultimately, this is a window for me to influence.
Yeah.
And to speak out as much as I can. Yeah. With the foundation of, look, it works. Yeah. This is how we're going to fix all of those traumas that we have when we're adults by preventing them in our kids. So that's the goal is here I am, I'm doing what I can with what I have. And then we break off into a secondary home location. Yeah. And then hopefully I'd like 3 locations in Bakersfield. Yeah. And then to franchise out from there.
Dude, nice. Look, man, I appreciate everything you're doing. Again, for our podcasts, me and my partner, man, we always want to bring people to basically to the forefront, man, that are in our community, putting on for our city, making changes, giving back, helping out, putting others first, and just really bettering our community. And just give you just the normal guy you're sitting next to, it isn't just someone you catch off of Facebook or Instagram that just seems so far out. It's something that, that you feel that you can still reach out to that person to help get you there. Cause there's you can't do it by yourself. You're going to have to do it with somebody else and work as a team to get there, always get the ego out of the way. So 100%, man, I appreciate everything you do, man. I appreciate you just coming through, reaching out, staying connected, man. I love what you're doing. So let everybody know where they can find you at. Obviously, we're going to tag him on everything going forward, and the video is going to be on iTunes and all of the podcast formats that you can listen to audio, the Facebook video, the live videos. Those will all be uploaded as well. Another special one that we're bringing to you. So where can we find TYTAN Academy? How do they get a hold of you? What's the best way?
Best way is text. Text me. That's it.
What's the number?
661-434-5510.
So say it again.
661-434-5510, or TYTANacademy.life is the website, and it has the emails and all the other ways to get a hold of me there.
Okay, and then Facebook and Instagram are all TYTAN Academy?
TYTAN Academy, if you look it up, especially it's the TY. Okay. TYTAN. And even just a Google TYTAN, that pops. I'm the only one.
I found
TYTAN.
Yeah. Again, guys, man, you gotta appreciate what Coach Anthony's doing for everybody. If you guys have any questions or you're interested in any of the programs, feel free to reach out. If you can't get a hold of him, to get a hold of me, I'm gonna connect you 100%. Again, we're still millennials, even though we're 36.
Right.
21. Man, we appreciate you guys spending this hour and 20 minutes with us today.
Thank you.
Look forward to having me here again. I believe 100%, man, when I met you over a year ago, that you're going to do exactly what you're going to do, man. And I appreciate you, brother. I love you.
Getting it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good one. Let's end this. How do I end this? This is the bad part where you're like staring at the screen like an idiot.
Hey, that's how you learn, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, there it goes. In stream. Man, good stuff.